Hello there. Welcome back to Dis-Cember. I'm Scotty. You're not, and we're talking about Treasure Island. Yes, the original Treasure Island Disney movie from 1950, based on a novel by Robert Louis Stevenson. Book, novel, whatever. I read the book growing up. It was one of my favorite stories. I watched this movie many times. And popping this in. Okay, so first of all, before I even get into the movie, I like to watch. I like to see what kind of trailers are on old DVDs. So you had, what was it? I don't remember what the first one was, but there was a trailer, a teaser, like the very literal meaning of the word teaser, trailer for Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. It's so early in development that it wasn't even called Curse of the Black Pearl yet. It was just Pirates of the Caribbean. There was no real movie footage shown, only like CGI footage of like the sea and islands and a skull thing, and the names of the cast members: Johnny Depp, Jeffrey Rush, Orlando Bloom, Pirates of the Caribbean. There's one little bit of footage from the movie, and that's just when a skeleton foot lands on the ocean floor, during the scene where they're walking on the ocean. That's it. And you only see the skeleton foot. There is no real footage from the movie other than that. And I was just like, that is so early in development. That's like Disney said, we need a teaser. We're doing Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Let's throw out a teaser. But we don't have any real footage, sir. I don't care. Just put it out. Yeah. So this is a 2003 DVD release. So, Treasure Planet, like I said, it's based on a book. I grew up reading the book. I watched this a million times growing up. And interestingly enough, this is one of those films that had to be edited after the fact, but then now you can just watch it uncut because it was released in 1950 before there was a real rating system. And so once the rating system came along, in 1975 they were re-released the movie, but the rating system was there now, and the rating system gave them, MPAA gave them a PG, and Disney was very much, we have to be G, so they cut it into a G-rated cut, which I don't know. It's a 96-minute runtime, and it was cut down to an 87-minute runtime. 9 minutes. Yeah. 9 minutes cut out. I imagine the line, I am myself an ass, or whatever that Squire Trelawney says, at a certain point was cut from that. Yeah. I am myself an ass, is what he says. I am myself an ass. And I'm just like, really? In a Disney movie? It's 1950. So, yeah. And technically it is an RKO Pictures thing, but Disney owns that. So, it's still Disney. Yeah. So also it doesn't follow the traditional Disney movie format from back in the day, where it would start with opening credits and at the end you would get just a quick the end thing like the Buena Vista Pictures would do. No, you jump straight into the story and then the credits are at the end like a movie would be now. But, you know. So you know the story, right? Jim Hawkins is working at the Bembo Inn, and a man comes in. He meets Billy Bones, who gives him a map. He takes the map to Squire Trelawney. They say, oh, this could be the Treasure Island, Captain Flint's Treasure Island. So they get a boat, and it turns out that, that most of the shipmates are pirates, led by Long John Silver. And yeah, eventually they do reach the treasure island. You know the story. We read the book, you know the stories. It's a classic tale. Tale as old as time, but it's not Beauty and the Beast. Uh, yeah, and I always like this. So that they did a good job recreating this for Treasure Planet, but this is still probably one of the best versions of this, where you just see this guy walk in, the Black Dog. He walks in, he goes, "I'm looking for Captain William Bones." William Bones? Yes, because the Black Dog, he's the one gives Billy Bones the black spot, a pirate's curse. Something that Pirates of the Caribbean would steal, because the black spot curse came from this book, it did. So, yeah, so he gets cursed with the black spot and ends up dead, but he gives the map to Jim Hawkins. Interesting enough, I don't think we see Jim Hawkins' mother in this version. She's a character in Treasure Planet, but I don't think she's in this version. I don't remember seeing her. Maybe there is. I was also taking a shower at the time, kind of multitasking, if you will. But, yeah. So, they go to this, I'm assuming, because they're not on the ship yet, so they go to, after he gives them the map, they look it up. Squire Trelawney is looking at it, and he's like, "Oh, this could be it. This is Treasure Planet. We could set a boat out. Of course, you can't tell anyone what they're doing, where they're going, that sort of thing." And they go to this restaurant, and they meet Long John Silver, man with a wooden leg named Silver. What's new his other leg? That's a different movie, which technically wasn't out yet, because Mary Poppins in 1963 had a whole 13 years before Mary Poppins came out. But, yeah. So the thing with the character of Long John Silver is you gotta remember, he's the villain of the film, but he's also gotta be sympathetic, because he's not a complete and total villain. He's an antagonist, so to speak. And you may ask, what's the difference between antagonist and villain? Villain, outright evil, no changing that. Boom, boom, boom. Think Thanos, right? And he has some moral questionability, but Thanos is outright a villain. But antagonist, Magneto, Loki, those who can go back and forth between good and evil, especially when the franchise just keeps on trying to suggest Magneto's just a anti-hero when those later films come out. But yeah, I would put Long John Silver on the more of the antagonist route. He's the antagonist of the film, but he's not completely 100% evil, especially as his relationship with Jim Hawkins grows and becomes more and more, you know. That also leads to the ending of the movie later. You know the ending. Yeah, and then they set sail on the ship. I can't think of the name. I read it a million times on Wikipedia. What is it called? The Hispaniola. The ship, the Hispaniola, run by Captain Flint. No, that's the dead Captain. She was Amelia, but it's a dude this time. It's Captain something. And his squire, Mr. Arrow. And much like in Treasure Planet, Arrow meets his death during a storm. You know. And in Treasure Planet, it's a meteor shower because it's in space. But here, it's a storm, the waves, and they use it to get rid of him. And they never find his body. Well, you're sailing on the ocean sea and there's a current, so I don't think you'd find his body. So, yeah. But then, Jim, we get the scene. One of my favorite scenes, actually, is that, Jim goes down to get some apples, and he ends up in a little crate thing. What do you call it? What do you call it? Bin type thing. And he overhears Long John Silver planning a mutiny. And so he tells Squire Trelawney and the others about it. and like their Lipsy and all that. And so they're ready, and they do sort of take out his men here and there, but eventually they get to the treasure island. And it kind of becomes sort of a moment where he's going to get mutannized by the rest of his men if he doesn't deliver the treasure, because they did the mutiny, they go to the island, and then they find nothing. Jim has run off, and he finds good old Ben Bones. No, that's Billy Bones. Ben Grimm. That's the thing. I can't think of the name, but he was marooned by Captain Flint all those years ago, and we find out he actually dug up the treasure and moved it to a cave. Right? And so they had to find a cave, right? So they went to the cave, you know, because yeah. And Jimbo, he gets hurt he gets like a cut or something on his hand, and he gets swamp water in it. He gets infected, so Dr. Lizzie has to come and help him. They make a deal. Silver acts like he's going to trade the boy for the map, even though he has the map, but didn't tell his men. Mixed up, I trade him for the map, you know. Something I want to mention, it gets kind of old as it go on, is that, so it has to be a secret. If you've never read the book, or you're watching this for the first time and never read the book, it has to be sort of a, you know, the whole story is that he's secretly a pirate. So they have to give a hint that he's a pirate by all the sounds that he says. He gives a R sounds. Jim Harkins. That's what I saw. It's like, we get it. You're a pirate. You know, if you're, you know. And again, I think if you didn't know he was going to end up being a pirate, people would be like, why is he talking like that? Or, so he's talking like that. Does that mean he's a pirate? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But, yeah. And like I said, they need an actor who could, I was kind of broken my thought there. They need an actor who could do a good job with this role, and Robert Newton is pretty good. And he's really good in the role. He plays it very well. And then Jim Hawkins is played by Bobby Driscoll. You may know as the voice of Peter Pan. He was screwed by Disney and died at a very young age. He was 31? Or was that a different person? Maybe he's younger than that. I don't remember. He was young. He died at a young age due to drugs. Because that's what happens. Yeah. I forgot about that. I think I read that when I was looking at Peter Pan. I don't know if I mentioned it in that review. That was years ago. Couldn't have been. I didn't have my phone then. Obviously, I did have the phone when I was recording. Stupid. It's my old phone. But, yeah. And if you know the story, you know how this ends. Eventually, Long John Silver can't turn on Jim. He turns on George Leary, shoots him right in the face, and then he plans to kidnap Jim and take off, but they get caught on a sandbar. You say like he does. Sandbar. That just makes me think of that Quizno ad. They have a pepper bar. You know, those little monkey things. Yourselves. They have a pepper bar. So. Yeah. And so you get the captain, the squire, and doctor. And they're coming at him. Jim, this is it. He's gonna go to jail. He's under arrest. No, and he has some of the treasure, by the way. But Jim, sympathetic to him, he helps him out, and thank you, lad. And that's one of the things that kind of like about Treasure Planet as well, is that the acting in that, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and whoever did the voice for Long John Silver, they also play that it works. Well, but that one is more like he just escapes, because they can't do a sandbar in space. So here it's like, he's gonna be caught, and Jim has a change of heart. Where here it's like he's just gonna take off, but Jim lets him go. In that one, but yeah, and then we get a little speech from, I don't know, Squire Trelawney. I think he's a part of me hopes he makes it. But yeah, I think the acting is very good. There's some decent action sequences. Like I said, George Leary gets shot in the fucking face. There's sword fights and gun fights and taking of a stockade and just and even the look of the sea, because I know they're not all on the ocean and stuff. There's some things that is like they're in a screen or a tank or something. This is 1950, so there was like, what's it called? Like in the early James Bond movies where you do that. There's like a green screen or a blue screen, and a rear projection. I think there's some of that, but it's not badly done. It still holds up pretty good. And this is not like a remastered DVD or anything. It's the first DVD released in 2003. You can see the cigarette burns popping up in a negative, and I'm like, I wonder if there's a remastered Blu-ray. Yeah, but it's a Disney. It's a Disney Club exclusive. Disney Movie Club exclusive. And like the cheapest you can find on eBay is like $60. I understand they want to have perks for people, but like some of the best releases for Blu-ray or even DVD are through that. Like, you want the Disney Channel version of the movie Jumping Ship? Only through Disney Movie Club. You want a Goofy movie or Treasure Planet on Blu-ray? Only through Disney Movie Club. How about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids on Blu-ray? Only for Disney Movie Club. The Mighty Ducks on Blu-ray? Only for Disney Movie Club. Why? I don't, from a selling standpoint, I don't get it. Making it exclusive to your thing where you can sell it worldwide at stores, in stores, and probably make more back than just one little website. I don't know. Then again, I'm not a business person. But as it stands with this movie, no, fuck that. It's not pretty good. This movie is going to the moon. It's fantastic. I love it. I love this movie. Watched it a million times. There was a point, like I said, I was going to take a shower, right? So I said I'll put it on, and I'll shave my head and my eyebrows. Jump in the shower. Well, it started, and sat down for a minute to get something to drink. And my phone went off. So I was looking at that, and then I just found myself sitting here watching the openings of the movie, and I went, I gotta get in the shower. I gotta get it done. Because I would, get caught up in it. So, absolutely to the moon. So, that's the first Throwback Thursday. Tomorrow, the first Franchise Friday. We're taking a look at Lilo and Stitch. I've, of course, seen Lilo and Stitch many times. But I think I've only seen the other movies. Okay, I know I've seen Leroy and Stitch twice. I don't know if I watched Leroy and Stitch all the way through, though. I think we did. But I've only seen most of them once, all the way through. I think Stitch the movie I watched a couple times, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Treasure Island? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.